And how long have you been doing soul readings?
45 years or more. It's a long time.
Or where did you start as a child? Did you, all of a sudden find yourself reading people's souls when you were an adult? Exactly what was that aha moment when you realized, wait a minute, I'm reading people's souls?
I was born this way. It starts out with having a strong intuition and paying attention to it. And the more attention you pay to your intuition, the more it guides you, the more it confirms that you made the right decision, or yet the feeling was right about somebody that you might want to keep away from, or knew when people were lying to you. You just trusted it, totally trusted it. When I was in my 20s, that's when it began in earnest, when I had the ability to read people just in conversations, and they might be asking questions, and I would come up with the answers. And they would say, "How did you know that?" "I don't know, I just know." And then it evolved, and then I met a mentor, my one and only mentor ever, Ted. And he told me, he confirmed for me. Actually, what he did was he put a name on what I did. I was a clairvoyant, which means I can see things clearly in front of me or beyond me. And I was a spiritual medium, which means I can communicate when people have passed over, if people need that service. And that all grew into being the soul historian. So he said I had these natural abilities, and he was going to mentor me for whatever I needed. And he did. Well, that kind of confirmed more of what I was doing. It validated what I was doing was real. When you're talking to a client, it's real for them because I give them information that only they know. They have to come with a list of questions, so I'm not guessing.
Are you saying that they ask the question, you give the answer, versus you asking them the question?
Exactly. I don't probe. I don't go where they don't want me to go without their permission. I don't. I talk to what if they talk about people. All I need is a first name and the relationship to that person. Then I check in with that person on a higher level or a soul level. If I can talk about them, some people say yes, some people say no, some people say to a certain point.
What do you expect? What should someone expect from a soul reading? Uh, Most people know psychic readings, they know astrology readings, things like that. But a soul reading, what's the, how does that differ from these other readings? Or readings or readings, it's just that you're addressing different issues.
Well, they'll get out of it whatever they want out of it, and plus information about who they are, why they're here, what's their purpose, what's blocking them from moving forward, what kind of karma are they carrying, what kind of an attitudinal adjustment they need, they what relationships mean to them that they're in, why they pick the family to come into, why do they have certain ailments, how can you get rid of these ailments, hidden talents that they may have that they're afraid to go near because of a sense of failure from another lifetime. You might find someone, for example, that is very, very artistic but won't touch it because they may have failed miserably in another lifetime with their art or felt ashamed, but yet they have all that talent there that they can waken up. Could be for writers, for artists, for bakers, candlestick makers, whatever. you can get a lot of information, but it's ultimately up to the individual person what they want to know about who they are. That's why I have people make lists of questions. It gets them to focus on what it is they're looking for and what it is that they want to work on in this lifetime or concentrate on. Those things are important if they're here looking for information for why they're not happy, how can they be happier, how can they live a more fruitful life, a more fulfilling life, a more happy life.
You have many gifts, and you have, beyond your gifts, you have a lot of life experiences, professional experiences. Do you, or how do you determine which of these talents and knowledge that you have, how do you determine which to apply to a situation, and do you sometimes apply them all?
My life experience, my educational background and career, and my spiritual gifts are all integrated. It's like having a basket full of tools, and I pull out whatever tools that person needs that's in front of me. One of the things that is very important to understand the way I work, it is not about me. It's about the person that's in front of me who's looking for the help. So I have my basket of tools. If someone comes and we discover they've been suffering from depression all their lives, I have the resources to send them to the right place to get help with that. The same with addictions, the same with any mental health issue, because I have all that background. Domestic violence is in my background, working with people, HIV/AIDS, and addiction, and mental health. I have years of experience working with people living with all of those afflictions. So I call on my experience and my tools and my spiritual gifts. And remember, I can read people so I know what's going to make them at ease, how to engage them so they'll open up, how they can learn to trust themselves and know whatever it is that they're living with or suffering from is real. And yes, there is hope to go on and know they can take control of their own lives and do something with it with what they want to do.
How do you handle, or how do you deal with skeptics?
I think it's really good to be skeptic. I don't handle it, I don't deal it. The person sitting in front of me, they test me. They can test me if they want to. They're still going to get information only they know. That usually gets rid of their skepticism. I wouldn't know anything about them. I've never met the person in my life before. Yet they'll come in and ask me to bring in a loved one that's passed on, and that loved one oftentimes gives them proof that they're there.
Do you predict people's future or future events?
No, I don't predict futures. I do not do fortune telling. However, if you sit in front of me and you tell me the future you want, I will help you identify the blocks that are in front of you that's preventing you getting the future you want.
Can you solve unsolved events in people's past?
I don't solve anything. The person is responsible for what they want. I provide the information, and oftentimes I provide the tools, and oftentimes I will coach on how they want to proceed in solving their own problems. Remember what you have to understand about problems. They're not my problems, they're the person's problems, and I don't have any right to take the problems from them. However, when they engage me, I will help them on how to solve their problems.
Are soul historians similar to people who read the Akashic records?
I don't know. They probably are, except mine are more detailed. Because the soul converses with me when I'm reading somebody.
In the Akashic records, isn't that a record of people's soul information?
My understanding that is true. The Akashic records are the ongoing history of every soul. But you remember, that's the ongoing history. What I do as a soul historian, I'll work with the emotional component to that person's history. And that's where the healing comes.
Well, Omena, it was a pleasure. I really got a lot out of this today.
Well, that's wonderful, Richard. Whenever you're ready for soul reading, I'd be very happy to provide it.
Well, thank you, and I will definitely consider that.
Okay.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.